Okay, so hello there, pirates. This is TFC Open Mic, Season 2, Episode 32. We all know it's the August mid-raid rumble. I won't say rant, we'll just say review. How's that? Good evening, panel, and good evening to those in chat.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Wow, Peter's in, Robin's obviously here, George is in, we've got Science. Hello, Brian, how you doing?
Science.
Damnation.
Ion.
How you doing, mate? And Trent. Frickin' Nora, Trent. How you doing?
He's alive.
He's alive, he is.
Is it?
He's in the house, yeah. Just turn your mic up, if you could. We're getting there, that's good. So we've got plenty to talk about. So I think first thing I wouldn't mind, if you wouldn't mind, I want to have a couple of pictures I want to look at tonight. So I'm just going to sort those out whilst we're actually live on air, because George just sort of threw me a blindsider. But a couple of things I want to talk about really is I want one positive and one negative of this raid. Start with the positive. Okay, Brian, what positive you got for this raid?
It's really forgiving, both in terms of the gap in the range between your weapon and your opponent's weapon. And if you do take a hit, it's not like in the garrison or siege raids or skirmish raids before, where it was you lose half a ship and that's like 45 minutes even in raid time. You have to make a lot of mistakes to get to 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's a fair point, actually, I must admit. Okay, and a negative from you?
Requiring a purchase on every side to unlock the store, even if you already own the top left. Adding 40 million. Yeah, you add 40 million to all of those prizes, and you're cutting off the charged armors and other things that people may need. And agility systems suddenly cost, 60 million for the lot of 5. I don't understand why they did it, and it was communicated poorly. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pick up some stuff at the end, but that's something I was definitely gonna, and that saves me a slide as well. So that's quite good. Hey, Ren, how you doing, mate?
Hey, Mark, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. And you're in your time tunnel there, by the looks of it as well. Still in the house of no furniture.
Yes.
And even Rick, how are you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
Yeah, welcome, mate. Welcome. Good. Ren, did you see Trent's in, man?
Yeah, man. I haven't seen the cowboy hat in a long time.
Yeah, well,
What's going on, brother?
Good, man. You?
I'm pretty good.
Excellent. Right, we've got a full house now, so that's excellent. So
Ren needs the cowboy hat.
Yeah, he does.
I have one. It's called hair. See, it's a helmet made of hair.
And that's why I wear a hat, is because I ain't got none.
You ain't got that
I'm follically challenged.
follically challenged. No, mate, you just live the dream as you are. It looks fine. Right, Damnation. Something positive from you, buddy.
I don't know. I think the damage is actually really doable in this raid. I haven't had a whole lot of problems with it. I mean, I'm at 150 million points right now. I've spent like 50 coins, but a lot of that was because I was streaming, and I didn't want to make people, have to wait for me to slow repair. So right. Yeah, I think it's a very reasonable raid for me so far.
And negative?
As far as the negative, I'm kind of over the two-side prize list thing in general. I think they need to just kind of go back to the open prize list, and you get what you want when you want it.
Yeah, we're getting a bit tiresome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really old.
It is.
And yeah, that's my good and my bad.
Okie dokie. Oh, dare I say it? Oh, in fact, this one's okay. George, good point. If you've got one that's not already been covered.
Actually, my favorite part is like Brian said it. It's just that it's not as punitive as the last raids. I actually really, really like that part, and I like the way that they have the target set up, because it's you're moving. And I think that's like one of the things that people used to like about the icebreakers a lot, is that you were moving a lot. You weren't just, inching into anything. It was constantly moving, right? It's easier and more fun to drive your fleet when you're actually doing that.
Yeah.
So that's and because you're doing that, the negative is just the amount of points, all told, for someone that's at top of the PvE game. I mean, that's just an insane amount of points if you want to get everything.
Do you think it's less than it has been, but still more than you'd like it to be?
No, I think it's way more than I want. And I think part of it's, that cages thing kind of throws a wrench in it, because, you need like 100-something million just for that.
Yeah, but do you? Let's be honest. Do you?
Well, I mean, the way that they
released
released it, no, there's no point. If they released it before the raid set, then yeah, maybe, but you don't really need it. So, but still, it's like 300 and something million. That's the only thing, is I just don't like the total. I liked when it was like 100 and 110 million. You got everything and you were good. You know, it's a 4-day raid.
Yeah,
I want to be able to live my life and not blow 25, 30 hours on the game. But other than that, yeah, I mean, other than that,
Peter, what about yourself, mate?
Well, one thing that I like about the raid is the targets are a little more interesting than they were during the Garrison raid. And it seems like there are a bunch more ways to approach them.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, my gripe is probably the same as everyone else's here. The way the prize list is working this raid.
Yeah, we're gonna hold on that one, mate, because I want to talk about the prize list particularly. I've got some slides on that as well. Well, not slides, but pictures, photographs, and that sort of stuff. And I want to quickly have a chat, if we could, about that frickin' thing, because it's starting to gripe me as well. And actually, I think it's impacting now on people's games far more, I think, than real kicks I understand. So I think we need to go through that specifically as a separate issue.
Yeah.
But no, I actually agree with you. Ren, what about yourself, mate?
I'm playing with the cameras. I'm trying to make Brian smile.
All right, Brian doesn't smile. No. Oh, look. Oh,
He just did.
I'm in deep concentration. I'm like playing 2 games and trying to remember my points and doing like rage math all at once.
Oh my god.
This is my day off, and this is what I'm doing.
You've got a million mile stare, mate. That's what it is. Okay, Ren, positive point from you, mate.
I'm going to say a few bad things and then a few good things, if I may.
Okay, you spin it there. You're gone.
The bad things already mentioned. I think locking prizes behind PvP content is not cool because the game has enough PvE players. That's already been mentioned.
Agreed, yeah.
And charged armor, let's be honest, is not a luxury item. It makes a huge difference in your repair build in raid.
Absolutely.
I was just checking today, paying more attention to the 103s, and I noticed that my Phoenix fleet takes no damage from the corrosive aura from Rudolph because of the charged armor. The charged armor goes down steadily, but the health in my ships doesn't drop until the pool is depleted.
And then, boom.
Yeah, so I imagine somebody without charged armor would just suffer a huge penalty in there. And now you see the charged armor is behind all that PvP content that, it's not paramount at all to doing well in raid.
Yeah, I've got a few in my lines that haven't got any charge at all, and they're really struggling, the 103s. I mean, they're doing them, but we'll show the picture of how they're doing them in a minute and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's not pretty, is it?
No. The other... Go ahead.
Sorry, Ren. I was just going to ask you on yours. If you're in the Hellstar's path, do you have like 2 or 3 of the corrosive charged armors on yours?
No, I only have one corrosive, 1 M, 1 charged of each on my Phoenixes. That's it.
Wow, because I have 1 corrosive charged to my guts bill on Phoenixes, and I still take damage from that.
I'm not so sure. I've got 2 M and 1 charge, and then 1 standard, obviously corrosive, and I'm not taking any. Well, no, I'm not taking any damage. So particularly if you do that piece early and then go around and do the bits afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as and I know I paid a lot of attention today before I made that statement. So I did multiple times, and I zoomed in and I checked the bar, and I mean, it was consistent. The corrosive pool green bar goes down on a steady speed, right? And then, but the health doesn't drop on any of the ships. Okay.
Which probably means it's below the 575 or whatever, the pool that it drains from?
I think when you look at the pool and then the deflection and resistance after the pool, it comes down to something like 0. Yeah. So, but the other thing I noticed, I did 103 with just 4 ships. I had halfway through the battle, I lost 1 ship, and then I still had the flagship. Oh, somebody on Brian's door. Look at that. Wait a second. That's important.
Oh, let's check who this is. But share Brian's screen. That's what we should do. Look on.
Somebody on a blue shirt, jean shorts. So we know people come out of that door. Okay.
That's the live people door. The dead one's going the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the dead man's chest.
So now we know the left door is the corpse fridge. Okay.
Did you see his face when he turned around and looked?
Burn the split, mate. Quick, get rid of it.
Okay, so sorry. Then back. So then I noticed when I lost a ship and I went to kill Rudolph with just 4 ships. By losing the aura bonus from one of the phoenixes, because each one of them gives a stacking bonus, right, of resistance. Then the health was going down significantly at the same time as the bar.
Right.
So I think the corrosive resistance you have makes a difference, because when I lost the ship, it was going down. So, you know, my setup on my Phoenixes is 1 charge corrosive, 1 charge M, and 2 D2 COs. So I think the 2 D2 COs make a difference because they add resistance, right?
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Okay, so the good things.
Go on.
I think having the auto fleet performing, I mean, I used to say that the Tide Seeker was the best auto fleet ever. I gotta say the Skyfire is, because A, it performs really well, right? Except for, I mean, it can't kill Rudolph on its own, so you need the subs, but it performs really well, and the repair time is just 2 coins. I mean, I put 2 coins on the flagship, and forget about keep the other ships at 75%, just 2 coins on the flagship, and I go back to battle, and I can kill like 3 100s. Right? Or if I do it right, 2 103s, bar the Rudolph. You know, that's really cool that both fleets are successful. And it's really cool that people already said the targets allow you to take a variety of paths and make some mistakes and don't be super accurate, and your fleet doesn't evaporate.
Which is hugely important.
No, that's all good stuff, man. All good stuff.
Or yeah, I'll come to Rick in a second. Or Rum does it. Tell me about putting your fleet in on auto, mate, with not taking any notice of it.
Well, you can be careful. You got to be still pay a little attention. You can lose the entire fleet if you get unlucky without a gale.
Cheese ball hits you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then what happens, mate?
It's bye-bye.
It's bye-bye, because it seems like the cheese balls are explosive. Is that right? I'm not sure if it is. There's no proof of that, but it does seem like you touch it and it's either got like napalm or something in it. I don't know, because your fleet's vaporized, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever it is, it just completely overloads the.
Put a gale or 2. Yeah, put a gale or 2 on one of the ships, and instead of siege battery, put a frontline countermeasure, and you won't have to worry about cheese balls ever again.
Yeah, I fitted it on.
Yeah.
You've done it now, have you?
Yep, I did.
Don't blame me, mate. Don't blame me.
Sorry, Robin. Go ahead.
No, that's right. I was just going to say I have 1 Gale 2 on 1 ship with no assist from any countermeasures, and I've not been tagged once by a cheese ball.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I put 1 on my flag, but I've done all right so far, I must admit. Yeah, Rick. So sorry, mate. Didn't mean to miss you out there. So positive and negative from yourself, buddy?
Yeah, the 103s have been interesting. You have to drive carefully. I've found that I've been caught by a few cheese balls. It's different. It's a different setting in the 103. I can do it for about 1 or 2 coins. I use both fleets though. I use both the Skyfire carrier and I use the Phoenix. I bring in the carrier first to take out the chaff, the drones, and everything, and then I back them out and I bring in the Phoenix to clean up the mess. The Phoenix is pretty good on the new ship we see in the 103, and it's all in all, I think it's an interesting new target.
Yeah, it isn't so bad, is it? I must admit. Although I was like, oh god, we've got 2, and it's only the 2nd raid in. I was waiting for that for the 3rd one. I must admit, it's not horrendous, is it?
No, it's not. It's pretty good. If you drive it takes some practice. It takes some getting used to. But once you get used to it, it's like driving the 100 or anything else.
Yeah, good. Right, Rum, yourself, buddy.
The 103s are not bad. I still think, and I agree with Rin completely, the job that Rakin did on the Skyfire and the target, he cannot get enough kudos as far as I'm concerned.
Best ship this year, I reckon. Best ship this year.
Yeah, well, best ship and best target. If you drive it and learn it, then it's really not too much trouble at all. And the negative is something that we touched on last night, but it's the way the res trigger is on the Reyna's Rage.
Okay, yeah, I've got a picture of that in a second, and we're going to go through that as a particular point. I've got two real points I want to go through. One is the Reyna's Rage, and one obviously is the boss ship in the 103 as well. So we'll do those in a second. Yeah, right. So Trent, for yourself, buddy.
Well, I have no complaints. I kind of wish that my Skyfire and my Headsfield, that's good, and Skyfires were finished. They're just not armored. Right?
You've gone quiet again.
Yeah, he hasn't been on for a while, so his mic's a bit down. But yeah, I can't turn him up any harder, unfortunately.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're doing better, mate.
Better.
Yeah. No, I was just saying it just kind of sucks that my carrier fleet isn't done yet. It's all fully done. It's just not armored and not ranked. But it's not bad. I like it.
Yeah, it is. It's a crack. I must admit, I did be on Polo. Sorry, didn't do the skies, so I've only got like 2 of them that are ranked up and that sort of stuff, and I went Phoenix instead, which has been fine, you know. But I did throw the skies into a 103, and do you know what? They ate the ships pretty quick, and I was quite impressed. And I actually then went round and swept up the rest of it with the Phoenixes, just because I didn't have any rank. I didn't want to go messing with that boss ship and that sort of stuff. So, which is a good time to switch things over. Yeah. You pretty good, are you, with yours, are you?
Oh, yeah.
Good, excellent.
No complaints here.
Good. Okay, so it's a good time then to probably look at this. If everyone can see that screen, hopefully they can. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. Robin, do you want to talk about this thing, do you, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah, just before that, I just wanted to put my positive in.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my apologies. Yeah, go on.
That's okay. I can handle rejection. The one thing
that's right, Rob. Slap him in the butt.
I would never reject you. Never.
That's right. The one thing that I really liked, kind of people touched on, was not having to be stuck to a single path. So, you know, if I want to be frisky, I can go clockwise. If I want to be anti-frisky, I can go anti-clockwise. So there's no right way, no wrong way. Depending on how you're using your fleet and how you're attacking it, you can come in from multiple different directions. You know, if you're prepping, you can come in different ways. So yeah, props on the targets with that. No other negatives other than what's already been touched on. But as for Rudolph, there are a couple of ways that you can beat this. First one, or actually there's 3 that I'm aware of. The first one, as pictured here, is you can actually take subs in. And it takes a while, and you may have to surface a couple of times. But if you clear out the turret, the scattergun turret that's there on the right-hand side, you can bring subs in, whether they're Hellwraiths. You can also use a Ghost Crawler if you have them. You can bring those in and go ahead and take him out from the position that Mark's got up on the screen now. Just pay attention to coming up on the surface, and again, may take 1 or 2 shots. The other way is that you can go in with your ships, wake him up, and then on the bottom left-hand side, there's that single island kind of all off on its own. You can go ahead and trap him against that, and then just come in, although you will be sitting in that circle for a short period of time. You can go ahead and take him out that way. Something to remember there, if you mainly only have 1 single charged armor, or you may have lost a ship, as Ren was saying, and suffering, go ahead and pull out and then come back in and kind of recharge your armor before you go back in. And then there's a third way where you can actually go in and kind of dance around when Rudolph comes out and he's got both rings activated. You can actually run around in circles kind of in between the 2 circles that are there. So if you're pretty good at driving and you've got a good connection and you're not lagging, you have the ability to go ahead and just circle in that area and take him out that way. Regardless of which way you're doing it, you want to make sure that you do not activate those horrible little UAVs, because those guys really do hurt, and you can actually lose most of your fleet doing that if you get hit twice on that.
Red, I'm not repeating that.
Oh, I am.
And I'm trying to talk with a straight face.
I just wanted to emphasize a piece of what Robin just said. I mean, she said, pull out and come back in. There's a third way. That's what she said.
Look, leave the only lady.
This isn't the crib,
alone.
man. Come on now. Last night.
I'm just repeating what you said word by word so people don't forget about it. I mean, it's good advice.
So I just want to quickly say something.
Your armor, yeah.
Just quickly say, it looks like Ren's on the back row of the church chapel or something. Just looks like he's sat on a pew at the back of a chapel. I don't know.
I'm sorry, nothing I can do.
Yeah. No, but so, yeah, it is beatable. There are a lot of videos that are on the page. In fact, Thomas just popped one on there not too long ago that had some really good explanations in it. Share them. There's the link that's pinned at the top of the page. There's plenty of them out there on all of the pages that are out there. It's doable to go ahead and take it out. And if nothing else, and Mark suggested this, if nothing else, team up with somebody that does have a ghost crawler or a set of hell wraiths and tag team. Take one guy in with subs and takes care of killing that, and then switch that out. So there's more than one way to skin the cat, and there's a way for you to be able to fill in those 103s, even if you stack the 100s and then get with somebody later on.
Yeah, it was good. So, I mean, actually, it's fortunate. So, Art's in, he's in chat there. So, hats off to Art, because that's his picture. Actually, he went in and did that for me and picked that one up. And so we can put it up on the page and that stuff. Because there's quite a few people going, I can't understand where to put my sub. It keeps getting zapped. Like my brother, unfortunately, who had a brilliant idea. And that was that, where I managed to put the ships in behind the island. And Nobby Lang, he got that squared away and that sort of stuff. And I just did the video, but it was his idea because I watched him do it. Yeah. And then literally,
he did it. Mark has a video. I have a video. I mean,
Ren's is a good one. There's plenty of vids.
Very repeatable. I mean, it's not something you need super talented, careful driving. It's just like go through the top and you're good.
So, I mean, Liam could do it.
He may be able to. He's done quite a few points. He's doing all right. But
and it's not super.
I won't say anything.
Yeah, it's not super fast too.
No.
So it's not a case of where, holy crap, I just woke him off and then you're going to charge across the other side of the screen. So you have time to react. You just have to think of where the circle is going if you're moving around the island. So it's manageable.
I could not spend the time to do that. It drove me crazy. What I did was I go in with the Skyfires, clear off all the drones, come back in with a brand new, freshly loaded Phoenix, drag him over the island, kill him, and then I can finish the rest of the target. And it's like a 1 coin repair, maybe
That's a
2.
Quick way.
Yeah, but you're a minority that has both fleets, right? Both top fleets. Most players are in that situation.
Filthy coiner.
Yeah,
wait a minute. Excuse me.
I had people ask me, oh, why are you doing that? I mean, Phoenix can do it much faster. I'm like, yes, it can, but not everybody has them. So I have a video with the Phoenix, and I have a video with the Skyfire plus Hellwraith. I mean,
I have a rebuttal. Filthy coiner, pot, kettle, who picked up 1.5 levels in this raid already?
I don't know.
Went from a 123 to a 125.
I might have made some ships and recycled some others. I may have. Yeah.
Right.
But that's a good point, and we were talking about this the other night. Even if, and like I'm not planning on building a fleet of Skyfires, if you've got the tokens from the TLC, build one. And even if you use that one to go in and strip the drones out or the ships out from the initial piece of the targets, even if just one of them works and does that, you may have the ability to build that for free.
Okay, yeah. So quickly then, a couple of things I wouldn't mind picking up on. So my plus is the Skyfire works well done. Skyfire worked well done. The Skyfire doesn't work at the moment is my negative, because the Skyfire, unfortunately can't do the boss target by itself, and it's supposed to be the auto hull. I really suggest you don't go in there and try and auto the 103. Well, it's too late if you try, because you probably already know it doesn't go so well when I get to the big boss ship. Rudolph actually doesn't give you a Christmas present. What it gives you is a bloody nose. So you have to do something else. So the auto hull isn't an auto hull in the second part, which means actually you're limited then if you haven't got subs. There are players out there that refuse to build subs. Okay, and if you haven't got the Phoenixes or something else, I know some people said Apollos, you can do it with those as well. You need to have another thought. And I'm sure the frustration has hit many of individual that's gone ahead and just gone Skyfire only and that sort of stuff. I just chose the other avenue. So that's my sort of like, yeah, well done. Yeah, the ship works, okay. But boo, it doesn't do so well in the 103. So it's a little bit positive and negative on the same sort of like sliding scale.
I was going to say, I mean, if you don't have subs and you don't have any alliance buddy who could prep the ship with subs for you and take turns and whatever, right? The Skyfires can blaze the 100. And honestly, doing 100s non-stop scores you more points over time than doing A sets.
Well, like I said, I tested the Skyfires I've got, and I've only got, the flag's got no rank on it. 2 of the ships have got no rank, and actually one's only got, in fact, 2 of them have only got 1 CO armor, it's not even charged, and then 2 of them are sculled, and that sort of stuff. And I still managed to do 3 100s on auto while I was going and doing other things. I just pressed go, and that was it. It's got a hail on it and that sort of stuff, you know, some bits and bobs.
Yeah.
But
so my Skyfire doesn't have any charged armor on me. I put a couple of D2 COs on them, and you know, like I said, I can do 3 100s, dock, put 2 coins, or wait an hour to repair just the flag and go out again.
Yeah.
3 100s. That's what, 7.5 million points every hour.
Yep.
If you want to wait and slow repair.
All right, so
Go on.
Sorry, yeah, I just finished the 103, and I tried my gut spill and Phoenixes in it, full health, and on the Hellstar alone, I almost took 8 damage, and that's basically without any UAVs hitting me because I have antis on them.
Oh, right, okay. What antis you got on yours? What have you put on yours?
I put switchblades on mine.
Mm-hmm. That's doing all right, is it?
It's doing okay against the UAVs, but that field in front of that Hellstar is giving me corrosive damage. Now, maybe it's because my special on my ship is the researchable missile penetrative special.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the penetrative and corrosive one, and that might be why I'm taking damage.
So the only thing you could do there really is probably bring it down close to that small island, not onto it, but close to it. And I know other people have been doing this as well. I think Driz has been doing it, where basically you sit at the 90 degree, at 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and basically you drive around a circle on the outside of it.
Right. Well,
so I have a question. So you said your health on your Phoenixes is going down.
Yes.
But you do have a corrosive armor, a charged armor in there, right?
I have 2 corrosive charged armors and 2 penetrative charged armors on it.
Oh wow! So let me ask you this: does it go down from the beginning, or does it go down after the corrosive charge pool is empty?
It seems like it's starting to go down almost immediately. That's what it seems like to me.
And what's the resistance on your fleet?
I'm going to my dock right now, and I can tell you.
I'm gonna check the resistance on mine as well.
Yeah.
So let's compare.
Trent,
that's interesting.
Hefe's just said in chat as well, sometimes it really pays. I know it's a bit of a nose, but it takes a few seconds. But if it saves you coin and a bit of time in the long run, you can do right up until that boss target, the boss ship, you know, the Rudolph like, and then exit and then come back in. Your charges recharged up, like, you know. So,
and I did that. I prepped out the whole target except for the Hellstar and the weapons to the left of it.
Right.
I took out everything except for that. I went out. I fully repaired my pin, and it seemed like as soon as I was in that red pool, it just started taking energy away from my ships.
Okay. Ren, you got some stats there, mate, or are you still up getting them up?
I'm loading game. I mean, laptop's very slow with Hangouts going on and game.
Okay, mate. Yeah. I thought you had a good connection in your house of yours.
Connection is good. The laptop isn't.
Oh, right. It's on the lappy. Okay.
I have, let's see here. Evades 56, stun resistance 74, penetrating defense is 96, corrosive defense is 76.
Right, yeah, okay.
Like I said, I have 2 of the corrosive charged armors, 2 missile charged armors. I'm running an agility system 4.
So your ships in theory are better than mine because I only have one charged armor of each.
Yeah, carbon fiber casing, reactive armor 3.
Yeah, very similar.
Magnus drive 2, guided missile system.
Okay, I'm running speed system. And so what do you say is your corrosive resistance again?
Corrosive defense is 76%.
Mine's 79. I don't know if that's the one thing.
Wow, it's only 3% more.
Yeah, and penetrating is 94%, and my evade is 64.
That might be as the evade because mine's only 56.
Well, so I have 8% more evade and 3% more corrosive defense.
That's the engine, yeah.
So, that's the only difference, because other than that, your corrosive charge pool is more. Your deflection should be more. My ship deflection is 660. Yours should be more.
Ship deflection is 680. Structure deflection 330.
Yeah, you have more deflection than I do. So the only things I have on my ship that are higher, evade and corrosive defense, and not
corrosive.
Much.
It'll be the corrosive. The evade won't matter. It's a field effect, isn't it? It's not a. You can't evade. It's like evading splash. You can't do it.
Right. So yeah. But the thing is with that additional deflection that he's got, that should make up for it, shouldn't it?
Should. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would have thought it would have done. But
if it's because the basis, the basic is
the corrosive penetrating.
I didn't catch that, mate. Trent, go on, go ahead.
His special, he's asking if Brendan is using RA3 or the combination special.
I'm using RA3.
All right, okay.
Wow.
Now, and I'm just checking one thing I said on my armor that's not accurate. So I have one charged CO, one charged M, and then I have one D5 CO and one D2 CO.
Right, so you
get a little bit more.
Yeah. That's
a little bit more because
so
CO. So that gets me to 75, 79, and gets my ship deflection to 660.
Right, but the thing is, what's the charge on the armor? Like the base charge that it absorbs? 5 something? 500 something?
525, and then the pass-through is 1.
525, the pass-through is 1, and the deflection difference is what, 40? Between the
20.
two ships? 20 between the two ships?
Yeah, he has 20 more deflection than I do. But remember, when it's affected by the charged armor, the minimum, if the damage you're taking is less than 525, then the minimum of 1 gets through no matter resistance, no matter deflection, no matter anything, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So let's assume that the actual damage is more than 525. So minimum doesn't apply. Something gets past the pool, the charged armor.
What's your resistance run?
79. So then the resistance applies 79% in my case, 76 in his. And the difference apparently is not being, like in my case, I get no damage, literally no damage for as long as the corrosive armor has some green on it.
Okay, we'll come back to that, I think.
Just comparing notes.
Yeah, let's go. So you can see here, so the next thing I want to talk about, if you wouldn't mind, and see what people's thoughts are, and particularly, I know Ren has looked at this. So I started to build, obviously, some Rage and Rainer's Rage and that sort of stuff. And I noticed something that there was a bit of a frustration, and it has been mentioned, because I know Heffy mentioned it last night as well. And I put a question into Kicks Direct, and I think Ren has got some feedback, haven't you, Ren? So if I
actually got a factual test done by players.
Okay, so this is basically the scenario is, okay, so you've got the Rainer's Rage, okay, and you've got the standard Rage, and if you're not aware, then basically in the specials there, and I don't know if you can see that very well, but basically it says there that the bonus effects which applies to the Rainer's Rage and the Rage is in one group, and the bonus applies to the Rage only is in another group, okay, so that's the special abilities. The problem is, the one that's into the Rage only is the Resonance Trigger, yes, but the problem is, it doesn't state that the resonance trigger piece in any other part of the blueprint, apart from where it affects the rages. So the Rainer's Rage will affect the rages, but there's no way it's going to affect itself. So the question is, if you put res capacitor on all of your ships, the chances, there's a potential there that basically the rages could zoom off ahead by 20% speed boost. And obviously, also, as well, you're going to have to then change slightly what special you're going to use on your Rainer's Rage, and obviously, if you lose, God forbid, you lose obviously your ability on your Rainer's Rage and that sort of stuff, then you lose that res capacity on the standard rages, and they're going to get eaten very, very quickly because it's only the Rainer's Rage that does the boost effect. You said you've done some testing, Ben.
Yeah. So clearly, the second aura, the one that has resonance trigger, yes, like you said, only applies to the regular rages, only buffs because that's the aura transferring health, the regular rages, and because of that, it doesn't self-apply to the flagship.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So what happens is if you put resonance capacitor on all 5 ships, and that was the test done, you'll see that the flagship is lower, and you'll also notice that the flagship has no turret defense.
Right. Well, it wouldn't have, no, because it doesn't have the res cap. Yeah.
There's nothing activating the capacitor, so you don't get any of the stats from the capacitor. So you're going to lose the flagship real quick in battle. And then you're fucked. You're screwed because
you're fucked.
The other 4 ships will lose whatever's triggering their capacitor, and they all lose all their turret defense, and they're all going to evaporate in a base hit. So, as it stands, either you gotta use resonance capacitor on the regular rages and siege battery on the flagship, and somehow make up for the speed difference with armor or weapons or whatever, or you have to go siege battery on everything and not get the extra damage bonus from the capacitor.
Which is really, and I think there's an oversight. Now I've sent that in, I've had acknowledgement, and it's gone obviously to the right individual that's designed this blueprint to have the 2 blueprints to have a look at as well. So we won't get the answer back till Monday. But I wouldn't put if you're building these, you might even need a refit, or you might need to just pause for the moment and just build them blank and or put some weapons on and just think about what special you're going to use, whether it's going to be. I mean, I've put a couple on already, and I just got, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I can't find this. So I did pose a question. I did check last night, and Heffy confirmed on his show last night that, in the crib, that he's a bit concerned about it as well. So the fact that someone's actually physically gone out and done it now, and it sounds great. You can, we all know, it's the flagship. You can just stop it and slow it and that sort of stuff. A, you shouldn't need to do that. This is a stacking blitz fleet, okay? And B, if that flagship goes down, you've had it. The rest of that fleet is going to get creamed in no time at all. So, adding the res cap, which sounds fantastic, it's the obvious thing to do. The problem is, if you don't look in the blueprint of the actual rage and only look in the Rainer's rage, you're going to have a real upset freaking player within no time. Well, his first hit's going to be really embarrassing if you lose the flag.
This is the same issue that we had with the monoliths and the gridiron, right?
Very similar sort of thing, yeah.
Reintroduced to us just to piss us off.
All you got to do is take that resonance trigger, take it out of that group and put it in the group above. That's all they've got to do. Just slide it out of that group and put it into the group above. But where then because it's then in the one that says it's in the Rainer's rage / rage capacity piece.
Yeah, that'll solve the problem.
So then,
that's it.
Yeah, that would mean then that everybody has 5 stacks, and every ship has its stack and gets the stack from the 4 others, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you just make the change on the flagship, even though the first aura is the same that the other rages have, but if you only add the resonance trigger on the flagship, it's still just 1 stack.
It still brings the problem, though, that obviously if you're going to put res cap on the other ships, then if your flagship dies, your other ships lost that. And I sort of get that. I can understand that's why you've got to look after the flagship. That's why you've got to keep Rainer's Rage alive and that sort of stuff. Otherwise, your fleet is going to get toasted. But the point is, the Rainer's Rage can't get in that zone, which means it can't drive at the same speed unless you mess around with all. I mean, I had a little play around it and did some, because I know it's a 20% speed boost. I did play around last night once I was talking this with Ren, and you can match your ships and that sort of stuff, but you lose a massive amount of firepower, and it's not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. So I think it's a complete balls up, to be honest. Apart from the fact that I think the rest of it is a pretty decent ship, but that's just an oversight, and I think it definitely needs addressing.
Do we know what the speed difference actually is between the two?
Well, I made it 20%. 20%.
20. Okay. I mean, so that it can. I mean, you can work around it.
But you lose so much.
Honestly, if you put one cryogenic death charge and 2 cadmium streamlined armors, you get exactly 20% bonus and problem solved. That's one way.
It is, but the thing is, I didn't go for the armor solution because I wanted all rad plating on.
Right.
Yeah. The other option is you put 2 V mortars. You get 20%.
Yeah, that would do it. There's ways of doing it, but you're losing firepower because what you want is those freaking,
but I mean, you lose 2 weapons on the flagship, but you gain extra 36% base damage for the whole fleet. So more than makes up for that.
Yeah.
Well, if you just lose one of the weapon slots, I mean, you can have it trail just a little bit too. You know, it's not going to hurt it trailing.
It's not a bad idea to have it trail a little bit because then it's not tanking fire.
Trailing consistency, but not trailing as you're going down someone's channel, that sort of stuff. Because then you've got to try and stop the front ones, and then you're talking some real, stopping 4, but letting 1 catch up. That's going to take a little bit of control. Stopping 1, letting 4 catch up is one thing. Stopping the other way around is not so easy, unless you're using a freaking keyboard macros. I'm not going down that avenue. I tend to use them a lot, but you shouldn't have to use them to play the game.
Right.
Here.
Okay. Right. Anyway, so that's another win.
Oh, and by the way, talking about macros and stuff, one other thing I was going to say it's good about this raid, it's actually the Conqueror prize. It's a very well-rounded ship. I mean, old style that you can build 4 or 5 of them and stack, and you don't need to do all these weird combinations that require macros and a rocket science degree to understand. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't require me to do a 20-minute video explaining.
No, I hear you. That's a fair point. I have to say it's impressive up to the stage of the fact that res cap piece. But apart from that, it's a bit like just building everyday prides and then adding the V pride. It's exactly the same concept, isn't it? Which is nice, old school, 2 years old, sort of like way of building stuff. I like it.
And one comment I made on the TFC page, and I wanted to repeat here. The weapon and the special actually fit really well on a whole bunch of ships. I mean, people looking for base defense, if you have Vanquishers, you can equip the new weapon and special. If you have Retributions, you can equip that. And I happen to have like a whole bunch of old build tokens for Retributions. Maybe I'll change a couple of them, you know what I mean? It can also fit on the Harlock Alpha Behemoth. I mean, you can also put the new weapon and special on it. So it's not only for the new ship, and there's one more, the Incinerator. So it's a whole bunch of uses for the new combo, you know.
Okay, Robin's going to drop out because Venom wants to jump in quickly and have a little chat as he tends to do on a Saturday night. So so long as he's got some sanity, he wanted to have a little rant last week, and I basically stopped it. So no, it's okay, Ren, you're good for the second. Robin's already content, and she's jumped in to help out in chat with Ford. Evening, Ford, by the way, mate. How are you, buddy? I haven't seen Jeff in tonight, actually. I've gone to scroll back up quickly. No, there's quite a few in tonight, actually. There we go. Oh, well, here he is. And
so do we have a ladies first policy? We put the ladies first?
No, she offers first. She's one of the team. Okay, then. So. Never. Right. Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's you?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Go on, then. What are you going to talk about the raids, then?
From what I've seen, there's a lot of talk about how overpowered this thing is. Going through bases. There's a couple of ways with our current tech that makes it very, very easy to kill that thing.
Yeah, I agree. I've come up with something myself, I must admit. I don't talk too much about PvP stuff because I think that's Alliance business, but I agree with you, 100%.
I've seen a couple of bases already with some. I haven't made any changes, but it's got the stuff killing it already. A few little tricks with some tech that isn't supposed to be PvP, but they're using it anyway.
Agreed. Yeah, I found the same sort of thing. I've done a little video today for a few group friends of mine and that sort of stuff, and I've stopped two fleets.
But yeah, I just want to say there's a lot of people on I've seen it a lot on the forums crying about how very overpowered the thing is. It's very simple to kill it.
Yeah, it's a good thing because you know, I mean, people got to remember this is a game, and the games are fun, and there's a challenge. You know what I mean? People just want everything explained and broke down, you know, to 5 steps. Here's how you do it. I mean, but come on, people, play the game.
Yeah, it's you know, put it this way: if we just released this hold, it cost you all that much money. You've had to go and get all that stuff, and all of a sudden you went and go and hit something. It's hardly a rage, is it? You know, it's like it's a damp squid. So it's got to have a little bit of thought. You know, I think it's a really good balanced ship. I like the way it works. It's going to cost you to use it because it's a blitzer. So you know, well done, Kixie. You've managed to guarantee people getting money out. You know, you're getting money out of people because you've done it. You definitely can't go in there and just pussyfoot around. You've got to go for it. You know, rage hat on, do it. Okay. And to be honest, you know, defend, as I've said before, best form of defense is attack. You know. Yeah.
I like to fight fire with fire, and the rage is fire. Also,
why is damp squid funny?
It's one of your Britishisms that we
squid.
just don't hear very often.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry.
You do, but here it means someone in the Navy, so.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be damn
golden
squid
ribbit,
anyway, as in, a wet firework that doesn't go off.
Yeah, very much so.
I heard them squib, which was like your parents are magical, but you're not. Like,
oh, did you say squib or squid?
Squid. I think he said squid.
Yeah, squid. A squib is what a firework that doesn't go off.
That's a squib, yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
That's also the first time I hear that word, squib. Okay.
Really?
I was not sure it was a real word until just now. Thank you. I'm learning.
TFC, life of education. I like it.
I'm glad you said that, Brian, because I thought it's because English is not my first language, but it's yours, and you also don't know the word, so I'm feeling good.
Well, there's regional slang too.
Yeah,
that's true.
I don't know if that's regional slang or not. I don't know.
Well, we don't. We hide from the fireworks.
Beaver is a regional thing in Canada, right?
And we'll kill people. What?
I don't know why.
Like beaver is a regional thing in Canada, right?
Beaver's a whole different matter. Anyway.
Beaver tail. I'm talking beaver tail. Let's be clear.
Where's Hefe?
Yeah. Which show are we on again?
Right.
So, George, beaver tails. It's a thing you buy for your kids at fairs.
That's not what it is here. I'm not buying beaver tail for my kids, that's for sure.
You're doing camel toast for a minute. Right.
Anyway, there was a question about the rage, about in Huggies, it's 16,000 deflection in Huggies, but because it's a duplicate or a cap of 5, and that is there, if you have all 5, it's supposed to have 64,000. Maybe that doesn't show well in Huggies. Someone had asked the question. It got asked to me. It's like, it should be 64. Just build your rages and go forth and deal with it.
Look, build them now because they won't last forever. Okay, it's a blitzer. There'll be something coming. They've already planned it and that sort of stuff. So, in fact, there's already tech there, as Venom's already said. Okay, just have fun with it and that sort of stuff. And if you get rolled a couple of times, there are things to stop it. Okay, and if you're up there and you're getting rolled by the big ones, you're going to get rolled by prides and that sort of stuff anyway. If you manage to stop them, if not, it's muglets and that sort of stuff. There's always something. It's a yin-yang game. There's always something.
The rage is one thing.
Go forth and wreck thine shit.
Wreck thine shit. Yes, exactly. Venom, go on. Sorry.
The rage is one thing, but that thrower is a whole level of overpowered. I don't know if anyone's actually looked into the multiple uses of it, but
yeah,
you can stick multiple different ships, and you can do a world of pain to bases and in defense.
Yeah, it is, and you can trick a few people because obviously a lot of people are going, oh my god, the rage is coming, let me put rad defense on everything, and that sort of stuff, and then you can move things around on other ships and that sort of stuff, like those that do the mega ship stuff. Those have got drones, have fun, because those are going to be a great laugh.
So nobody's talking about the new super hull. What do y'all think about it?
Yeah, well, we're coming down to that, mate. I'm just going to see going down on prize list now. So, may as well quickly do that page. Hang on, where is it? It's let's not talk about the Man of War because I just recycled mine today. I'll just go with it. Yeah, I recycled it. It's gone.
Oh my! Now they're going to come out with the use for it.
I don't give a rat's, mate. It's sat there since I've got the damn thing. So
they'll make the flag. They'll make it TSM's Man of War flag.
That's it. That's the one we've been looking for. Is TSM's Man of War.
Well, they
I don't know if it's the flagship we need or want, but it's a flagship we
just
deserve.
call it TSM's Tantrum then. All right, there you go. All right, okay. So this is the bit that's really bugging me out of all of these. So we'll go back to the prize list in a minute if you really want to. But this is the actual screen that's annoyed me the most. Here's the bit behind the lock store that's frustrating. Forget the fact that stupid thing that looks like a real dodgy looking Legion type thing down the bottom, which has got stacks of shards, and I can't see a point for it. Rainer's Rage being behind the lock, I understand that. That makes absolute sense. If you want to be a top player, you've got to go and work for it. But the bloody charged armor, that is so the wrong place to put charged armor. I mean, yes, it's a limited item, okay, but it's not that shouldn't be that limited. People cannot do the 103s logically without having that stuff there. And those that are trying to really do well with at least 4, Phoenixes or 4 Skies and that sort of stuff, they need this stuff, and they haven't got it, and I think it's a bloody mistake.
And even if they got the the top left last raid, especially if they got the top left last raid, they might be thinking, oh, great, I can go in, I can get charged armors. Maybe I'll forego a lot of other things because my Phoenix wouldn't realistically be done by then. And you bring in your 3 or 4 Phoenixes and you go and you get those armors. But now it's 40 million to even get to them for those players. And 30 million if you have Apollos. And if you have Apollos, like, how are you even getting 30 million? Plus, like, you need a Merc to do that. If no one else. It's unnecessary, and I don't know why they did it.
No, I think if you're still at the Apollo level, if all you have are Apollos, I wouldn't worry, because if all you have is Apollos, you know, right now you probably want to get the Phoenix and the Talon and the Special, and that will keep you busy for a month or more. But people who now have the Skyfire built and have or have the Phoenix built and want the charged armors, I mean, if you already redeemed the Phoenix, you shouldn't have to redeem the PvP to get the charged armor. That's the one thing. And I know they're pushing that because of the bounty stuff. They want people to have conquerors. And bounty, I think, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm going to
think that's the right approach, you know, forcing the whole thing down people's throats. But that entices people to it, not force them to have it.
It's still 45 days to build that Rage fleet, though, if not more. And if
I always save my tokens from the previous month, so it's not, you know, the Rainer's Rage. Yes, okay, I agree that, but you know, I've managed to stack up, you know, as many tokens as I possibly can, as I did when I did my my Phoenixes sort of stuff. So I always stack up as many as possible from the previous. It was a double week, wasn't it? This week just gone. So I
used them all to finish some stuff. So
I mean,
but still, I mean, honestly, I mean, if you look at the build time for the Rage, it's not bad. I mean, it's 2 days and something for the naked hull.
So yeah, I've done 2
9
builds.
days for a full ship or something like that. 9-10 days.
Yeah, I've got 9.5 days for the one I've built, and I think it's 17.5 days for the Rainer Rage.
Yeah, so it's 45 days, like Brian said, if you don't get any tokens at all, right? And you get the whole Conqueror fleet. So,
but the problem is, well, there's a bit of unknown information whether or not we'll have the quote-unquote escalation weapon and special for.
I'd rather hope not. Just carry on as it is. People haven't finished. I mean, a few of us have finished. I've seen loads of fleets out there. Some of them have only got part rank. Some of them have only got the 4 ships, not the flagship. They're just getting it now and that sort of stuff. Come on, you don't need to rip the piss out of people. This is fine.
Yeah, I spent 2 months already building assault fleets. Not now. I mean, since 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week ago. I'm finally catching up on conquerors and defenders and all that stuff. I mean, really don't want an escalation anything for the assault fleet.
No, because you want to spend 45 days sorting out this Rage fleet. We want to have fun with it. Come on, you've given us an old school fleet. Let's build it and play with it, okay? And so your bonus tokens for this month are going to go on the Rage fleet. If you want us to PvP as well as, and you want us to take part in the, you know, the bounty, freaking leave us alone. Just crack on with the targets.
Yeah, because then we know in 30-ish days we're going to have another raid, and then the skirmish fleet will be out there for early access, right? So that's the window we have to catch up on the fun part of the game, which is PvP. So, I mean, as politely as I can, just get out of the way and let us do the fun part of the game, you know, instead of worrying about upgrading PvE ships again.
Yeah, very much so. The one thing I've noticed, so we're getting on a bit of time, but I don't mind running over a few minutes, but the 100 spawn rates, they're not so good as the 103s, are they? I don't know if it's the ever decreasing circles, you know, if you hit 100, it could respawn as a 103, or whether there just should be 2 of one and 2 of the others, and every 15 minutes it just recycles itself. I don't know, what do you think? I don't think there's enough hundreds around.
No, I don't think it's spawning. I think there's some sort of proportional thing not working, because I sat and did like 4 103s in a row, and it just kept on spawning 103s around that particular dub.
Yeah. Well, if you want to sit there, that's fine, but I'm looking at our locator right now, and there's 6 of them that you can just go find immediately.
Yeah, they're in the locator. I just don't know if the spawn is working the way that they intended.
I don't think a particular dub is balanced. But like Ram said, and you know, look at the locator. My impression every time I look at the locator, I have a balanced amount of each one of them, just near my base.
Okay.
And I had situations where one particular dub was just spawning 103s, a whole bunch of 103s, but then I go to another one, not too far, and there's a whole bunch of 100s.
Yeah, so maybe they balance.
If you look at the tree, you're going to say it's wrong, but if you look at the forest, it seems to be working.
Okay.
Yeah, they might have balanced it by the sector then.
It might have done. So the other thing I was going to quickly jump onto, obviously everybody noticed then obviously the change out from the Malice, obviously to obviously the hell's the ship? I've forgotten.
The Scouts.
The Scouts. Yeah, the Reaver Scouts are in there now. So and they behave slightly differently. So those are there are. I don't know if their fire range is different, whether they go loaded with different weapons. But if you do get caught short, you do take a lot more damage. I actually was doing nothing to finish off last night, so I actually drove my Skyfires into one of those. And
there's one difference. Each target has one special ship, one special scout that's not like the other. So we are used to the scouts kind of circling you, right, and turning and circling again. There's one per target that actually chases you in a straight line, has longer range than the others, and causes a world of pain.
Yeah. I was just curious. Yeah, I was just curious just to see if it was how much damage they would do, because the Malices were pretty pathetic, and these aren't. These are pretty painful.
Yeah.
So I was just about to sack it and go sleep for the night, because it was like 4 a.m. by the time I finished.
Well, you've got to catch the one coming at you correctly, and then you can wind up kiting it.
No, I just let it drive straight at me. I just want to see what happened, and it ate me. The whole fleet. It was gone. Once my charge was gone, everything was gone. And the last thing I want to quickly talk about, which is, and then I'm done really. Or I've got one more, but this one Ren's in, is obviously that little beast at the bottom there, that Cadiz. What do we think about this thing? Bit of a random, isn't it?
I would have been if they released it 2 months ago and people had time to get it before the raid set. That'd be great. I mean, it looks great for the raid set.
Well, my question is why? Because you can only get half of the tokens you need to. Because if it's 250, you can only get half, and the raid's over by the time it's done. Or is it
think about it.
Well, that's why I said if it was out so you could get it 2 months ago, it would have made sense and would have been perfect. Now you're going to get it on the last raid of the raid set. I don't see it.
Like he said, if he brought it out 2 months ago, or if they brought it out 2 months ago, and somebody had the inkling to build it, it would be ready for the last 2 parts of this raid.
If that's the go-to hole to do the escalation for next, well, we can't do it because there's not enough thingies. And if that's the hole to go to when the 91s go and whatever it is you're going to be using for mega ships, that's the auto hole or something. Well, you're freaking idiots. Sorry, but that's not the way to go ahead. Our Phoenixes should do a lovely job, and so should the Skyfires. And the 100 target is probably the perfect thing.
Yeah. Now, if you think more long term, it's remember that this fleet has no defenses built in. If you look at the defense block, it's pretty empty because the drones are the defense, right? And the first wave of drones it spawns are assault.
The corrosive and penetrative.
Assault drones, let's say. But the second spawn is actually skirmish drones. So that can actually be a very powerful ship for the skirmish cycle, as long as you're okay with taking damage in the first to kill the first round, and then the second round comes out and it's skirmish. So it's like a dual-purpose ship that should do really well and be very powerful on both targets.
No, all the words are that the word is it's a good hull, and I've had a couple of like sales brochures through from a couple of guys from Kicks and that sort of stuff going, oh, it's amazing. You want to see what it's like when we do it and that sort of stuff. And I'm going, yeah, you said that about the Man of War, and I'm not going back to that every time, but it's.
So my question is, you got 22 weapon slots on it, and every one of them can be equipped with a drone. In order to get it to spawn the drones, do you have to equip it with a certain type of UAV?
No.
It's the defensive capabilities of those drones, not the attack capability. No, it'll just switch. No, I mean, you can play. So we're going into. I mean, I know Ren and George have got to drop in a minute. So if they do drop out, don't worry about it, and then other people will jump in. But the point is, if we are going into, what was the old sub raid, remember that one that was depressing? Okay, if you only fix this thing to just under 75% every time, between 50 and 75, you're always going to stay in that zone. This isn't like a sub. You can just leave it at 75 or just under 75% fixed, put it back in your dock, slap a coin back on it, and go back out again.
Yep.
You can keep it in the set zone you want.
So
that's something positive.
I am kind of curious what Ben was trying to say, because he tried to make a point a couple times.
Go on.
And
yeah, it's just that it's going to be the go-to ship for the Titanium collection,
Could be.
If you think about it, they're not going to make us do.
Right, but would it be
targets.
worth?
It's not right to do that though.
But is it worth actually building it when we already have, the Phoenixes and probably the Skyfires, because we're going to have the TLC probably again, and that'll give you enough tokens to build the fleet. Is it worth? How long is it? 30 days, 35 days to build this?
I mean, George, it's a super hull. Every single super hull is a vanity item. No, it's not worth it. No, it's not needed. I mean, forget the build time. Look at the repair time of that thing.
Yeah, one day 6.
I understand that, but if you're going to call it a go-to hull, right?
Can't be the go-to hull.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's the fancy luxury hull. I mean, you never need a Ferrari to commute to work. You drive the Ferrari because you want to show off that you're driving a Ferrari.
Yeah, but remember, charged armors were a luxury item as well.
You had to go there too, didn't you?
Yeah, but unlike charged armor, super hulls always remained as such, right? I mean, nobody ever needs a super hull.
No. Those crawlers are finding uses, but the problems that I have with this are, first of all, there's explosive damage in these targets, which means they're not even technically the best thing for this, which is a massive breach of the it's not contract in the legal sense, but it's a massive breach of the social contract and understanding between Kixeye and the players that they would only stick to these damage types in the target. Yeah, I could use a Gale, but I also heard that the UAVs from Hellstar City, which was built on rock and roll, might deal explosive damage as well. The other problem is, moving forward, yeah, you can tank for skirmish types really well. Find me a concussive damage UAV. There isn't one. I checked. The ballistic one's terrible, and the explosive ones are dumbfire and tend to not work.
Yeah, it is frustrating. Well, let's just see what happens. I mean, the other day, look, by the second day of the next raid, someone's going to build this, have it out there, and because there's always a glory boy. There always is a glory boy. So someone will have it done, and it'll be out there, and they'll be playing with it. So we'll wait and see. So it'll just be, yeah, and they'll be going slapping around. There'll be a video of someone smashing a 103 and smashing 100, and great, whatever.
Now, here's a question. I mean, how well do you think that ship will do in base defense?
Not very well at all.
It'd be very expensive if it.
Well, if you think about it, it's got no.
But I'd snipe the shit out of it anyway as soon as he went on the sea.
If you send one boat in and have, say, a sloth sitting outside, you could kill it in one shot. It's got no deflections on it; it'll just die.
No, I reckon it would die pretty schnellish.
You wouldn't even have to. You wouldn't have to kill the base. You just have to kill that, and that's a victory. There.
So it's probably just a PvE super hull, right?
Yeah, which is frustrating. But the Man of War is meant to be, and I can never find a purpose for it, to be honest. I mean, it was nice; it was chucked out funny, stupid bits of that oil slicks, which was nice to play around with. But
the Man of War is good for prepping.
Yeah, but that's another PvP. Well, it's half a PvP, isn't it?
But you don't have control of where the oil goes. If you had control of where the oil goes, then it would be nice.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Heavy.
Oil up first, and then your ship's going.
Yeah, it's frustrating. Timely manner. Okay, George had to drop out. Obviously, he's got to go to painting. I think that's what he was doing. No, in fact, no, he's got something else to do.
I'm painting, and I have to drop, guys. I'm sorry. Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you, Ren.
Okay, so that's one more space. There we go. So there's still one space to go. The last thing I wanted to cover, really, myself personally, was which has done me a power of good, is the good old VXP tokens. Obviously, the 5K VXP token, which you can get obviously for either 12 coin or the 6 hours of research and that sort of stuff. So long as you've got your mega hull built, for the moment, that's where you have to go and actually produce them. Which is not too bad. Now, I looked up quickly if I was going to coin, God forbid, the raid, the rank on the Rainer's Rage and that sort of stuff, and just do the first bit, I think it was like 275 coins and like that. But I could actually go and use up all my titanium, and I could almost get that ship fully scaled up for about a fifth of the cost. So if
I go out and hit bases right now with my mudgluts, are people going to crucify me?
Well, that's the question. Well, I don't know, mate. It's your game. You do what you like.
You're right.
They probably will because it's during the raid.
Yeah, but I got to rank my boats. I got hit by ranked boats already.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. I don't know, mate. But the point is, I think the VXP is fantastic. But I think the oversight is, if you're going to be VXPing, and obviously this month, we're now doing Rainer's Rage, and we want lots of ranking up and that sort of stuff. Well, that means you can't do anything then research-wise for parts, obviously for your mega hull. Right. And that's only I believe that's a temporary glitch, because they did say there's going to be, in the last week's release, there's going to be another way of doing these tokens from somewhere slightly different. But hey, we'll see. I don't know.
Could they have just put them in the foundry? Would that have been a thing that would have worked?
It needs to go somewhere else, doesn't it? Maybe you go and do them in Huggy's hangar. Maybe you do it in there.
Maybe you do it there. Maybe you do it in the advanced lab. I mean, anywhere that you could do a research that doesn't involve you having to take away from the mega hull.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only thing I really want to finish off with really was with myself. Those are the points I wanted to make sure when Ren was on and George particularly. But the last thing I want to mention is obviously, and I know Price and the guys have mentioned this. I think Heffy had a little chat about it last night. There's only one person in the whole of the world of BP, as far as I'm concerned, who's entitled to something to be named after them, and that's Huggy. I don't think anybody else has got any right to have any claim on anything whatsoever. And everyone's a joke about putting the name down for something, but they're going, But Huggy is the only man. I think if you play this game, you've played for more than a couple of months. If you don't know that name, you're not playing properly, or you're not actually on one of the pages, or you're not in an alliance, or you're not just listening to anybody in comms, because there's nothing more important in this game as far as I'm concerned apart from his page. I think for him, he is the only man that's really single-handedly made a huge addition to this game. And he's hardly playing it himself. So, as was mentioned in a previous show, as far as I'm concerned, I would like Huggy to get something in the base. And if it's going to be the new dry dock, then it's going to be Huggy's hangar. Okay, and that's where we do the VXP as well. That's my thought.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Forget a ship. Ships come and go. It needs to be something freaking permanent. Ships come and go, and we'll recycle them and that sort of stuff, and Huggy dies. I don't think he should. I think he should have a permanent fixture in the game, and I think it needs to be in the base, personally. He has made a huge difference to the game, and without him, even so much that Kixeye went to him and asked him for some of his coding, and that ship coding thing that you've got in the game now is because of him personally. So, it needs to happen.
Honestly, I would also add Thunder to that list for all his work on the BP unknown site.
Add who?
Thunder for his BP unknown site that he does that has all.
Yeah. Thunder's very good. Yeah, but if you were to go across, and you jump through all the different. There are a couple of people. I'm not saying that there are a couple of really, 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 really good people, but specifically the one person. Take me out, take Price out, and Price has been in this game for eons, and that sort of stuff, doing these shows for years and years and years, and that sort of stuff, But that's not the point. The one person that can absolutely, and has even bothered, sits in the background, does absolutely nothing, is Huggy. And he is so responsive to his page and that sort of stuff, and has tirelessly kept it up to date. And I'd be stunned if it wasn't going to be him, and it should have been a long time ago, I think, personally. But that's just me. Right, I'll shut my mouth. Anyway, so now it's just free time. Say whatever you like. I'll shut up. Go for it, somebody.
I can say words. I'm doing some rage math right now. It looks powerful, and I can understand why people think that it's incredibly powerful. But again, there are ways to stop it, and if you have the rage, you have to put a damper on it, if nothing else. You're going to need some radio plates, and you're going to need some splash damage reduction, because even the shots themselves, little salvos, they deal a lot of damage. I'm getting about 10,000 with a single rage and about 13,000 with more of them. So get your rod plates, get those on. And
I know at least one person in my alliance has 4 built already.
Fully built?
I think so. Fully built Zemo and DSCS.
Okay.
Joiner would never do that.
No,
I've seen
not Mark.
I've seen a couple hit bases as well. Again, there are ways to kill it really easily, and there's ways to practically one-shot the full fleet. But again, I'm going to keep that within the alliance.
Yeah, totally, mate.
You can get some guard ships in there that'll practically one-shot the whole raids fleet.
His aren't ranked fully, but he's got 4 fully built, I think.
It's going to be a typical, like, as I said before, it's going to be a typical, blitzer hole and that sort of stuff, and people are going to have some real fun for a few weeks and that sort of stuff, But yeah. So hang on, what's that? Cuts just mentioned something there in chat. TFC, it would be good to cover the plus and minuses of the rad plate. Brian, take it away.
So the rad plate, it's got radioactive deflection in varying amounts from 2,000 up to 5,000, and what that does is for every instance of radioactive damage that you take, it will reduce that damage by whatever it is, 2,000 up to 5,000. Now, there's a speculated minimum pass-through. I don't necessarily want to comment on that because it's not technically official, but you do take some damage. It won't just block the damage down to 0. And so the thing about that is you want enough radiation deflection and splash damage reduction as a percentage, because these boats have, the rage has splash damage reduction as well, to lower those damages. Again, it was what, 10,000 I said, so 2 rad 4 plates is a good start. That should block a lot of damage. If you've got splash damage reduction, that factors in first before the deflection, and it'll also factor in. So rage is 10% reduction, then reduced by the deflection. And even though it's a lot of damage in that single volley, that damage is divided up into 50 individual salvos if you have multi-shot, because it's 5 shots times 10 weapons, so that's 50. And then the shockwaves, they're their own separate instances. So even a single rad plate 4 is going to do a lot. I don't think it will actually mean the difference between life and death. You might need like 2 rad 3s or a rad 4 and a lot of splash dispersing systems around to make sure you don't instantly die. And I'm talking even like Conquerors and Defenders with 100,000 plus armor points.
Yeah.
Like you do need a rad 4 plate on at the absolute minimum, and probably 2. And then you should be fine.
Cool.
But they do a lot of work.
Okay, dokie. Anybody else got anything else I want to talk about before I close this down?
Nope, all good.
We're good. Excellent. Right. Fantastic. Well, all I'll just say then is enjoy the rest of the raid. Those that are still plugging away and that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's plenty that are. The deal, like I said, that came out from Kickstarter, the Apollos that were there and that sort of stuff, I did test, and you can definitely do the 60s, and you can do the 60s 2 sets, and it wasn't even half dead. So that's a couple of million points, that sort of stuff. Do that twice, and obviously you can go and get the com Zealous and that sort of stuff. So gives you a little hole and that sort of stuff. If not, you can go and get the flagship to go with your Apollos if you want to and that sort of stuff. It just takes forever to build it, but you can get it as well because that's only a couple of million. So you can get some stuff, and obviously you can get some tokens. And I did that, and I think it took me about an hour this afternoon. So it's reasonable, So sorry, I was still locked on mine as well then. But yeah, so enjoy the rest of the raid, and we'll see what. I bet you next week's update is going to be late. Okay. It always is, isn't it? So we probably won't be on next Tuesday. It'll probably be Wednesday. Hoping there's no bank holidays or anything coming up, is there? I think there are.
Don't think so, no.
Good. Okay. Hey, Daniel. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey, good to hear, mate. How's that mic of yours?
Oh, it's better. I think it's better. I haven't changed it.
Cool, mate. Okay, excellent. It was a bit Dalek last night, but there we go. Did you listen to the show back at all? Did you hear yourself? It was like, that's interesting.
If it's still acting up, I'll just reload and.
No, it's perfect now, mate. It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll close off the live show from there, and we'll leave up the after show. Keep going for a bit longer until people have had enough, basically. But enjoy the rest of the weekend. And I don't know if there was in the UK. There's supposedly a meteorite shower coming over us tonight or something like that. So I'm going to go outside. Starts at 11 o'clock our time. So which is just tick past that. So I'm going to go and stare at the stars and see what I can see. And
yeah, have fun with that.
Bit of a tangent, but there we go. Okay, my raid's finished, so I'm bored, so I'm going to get a beer. Anyway, right. Take care. Trent, good to see you, mate.
Good to see you, brother.
Okay, take care.
And good luck.
Later.
Everybody.
Later.
Yep.
Later.